It is a very difficult feat to say the least, and yeah, 40 watt is not going to have to do so. It's only happened 4 times in the National Hockey League, only happened once in Major League Baseball. It has never happened in the National Basketball Association, and it's one of those rare feats here in Smash TV, coming down from 3-0 to win a best of 7. You like to see it, but I don't know if we want to see that here necessarily, but we'll see how things go. We are underway as the countdown has been given. Looks like, at least for the moment, about a 1.5 to 2 second difference between the runners, at least as far as the start, and that has been evened up, at least as close as you can with those, those milliseconds and whatnot.
All right, so both of them have their razor shields, so let's find out who's going to have the opening hole shot. Unfortunately, a nuke on the feed for 40 watts, so that's going to cost him some time, and it indeed will be CHX with the hole shot. Oh, this is going to be a filthy time here, gentlemen. We're talking a high 38 for CHX versus a high 41, about a 3-second lead for CHX because of that nuke sabotage.
We'll see if RNG decides to balance out here with the first row. It's rockets for CHX and a foot for 40 watt. Come on.
Yeah, we want to see better drops. Here. I agree there, Burgundy. It is a spreader for 40 watt, which is something. But yeah, these rockets are going to help carry CHX a long ways here in collect power-ups. A nuke for 40 watt. Now CHX, after he runs out of rockets, going to get a spreader. And even without the orb, this is a filthy time. 1:16.
Like to see anything under a minute 20, but to do so without an orb, that is just phenomenal.
And 40 watt, who's really not done anything wrong, is already 12 seconds back. It's just the quality of drops that CHX got were absolutely amazing. And now he's going to get an orb.
Oh, and 40 watt got swirled.
Not looking good for the third annual champion early on here, but this is only game number 1 of a best-of-7 match here, but you want to make sure you come out of the gate swinging, and that's exactly what CHX has done. 158 into total carnage. That is crazy.
That is pretty fast right there. Still early in this run. I mean, right now it's just going to take, at least 40 has rockets going into the next room. It's going to take some drops, obviously, but can catch up if they just are able to get an orb or something going on.
But the rich are getting richer. They both have a razor shield, but the problem is 40 watt has not seen an orb all game so far.
Rocket will help, but...
Yeah. They can only help for so long, though, Burgundy. I mean, he's got to find that orb soon or hope that CHX makes a mistake. But CHX right now... Oh, he does make a mistake! Commentators, but the game! Oh, my word! No way! And CHX is going to have a 252 into the bonus room with the orb intact. Sick!
That is absolutely ridiculous. I almost want to say, in terms of RNG, that is a disgusting act.
It really is. RNG is favoring the favorite here. I mean, yeah, CHX is an ever so slight favorite. Let's face it, they both could easily win this match. But I do have CHX, just based on their times and based on how they've been playing so far, I'd say is the ever so slight favorite. But anything could change here in tank trouble. Quality of drops kind of dry to start for CHX.
We've got a call in chat, 4 keys for CHX on Mutoid. Thank you for that, Dan. Put it in H.
Yeah. A certain somebody would probably be able to oblige with your request there, I'm sure. And CHX is doing a lot of dancing. Now finally sees rockets, making the move there, and good patience to keep that orb intact. Now gets a razor shield. And I'll tell you what, in spite of the drops being as dry as they are, a tournament record is very much on the table for CHX at a 4:06. He's looking for 1 minute and 34 seconds or better Mutoid Man fight.
Well, it is definitely possible, but again, it comes down to the drops. If they stay the way that they have thus far, I'd say it's pretty likely.
See what happens. It's 40WattRange doing the best with what's been given to him, but he's going to find himself 23 and a half seconds back of CHX. Did he get the ball buster?
Looked like he did.
All right, so CHX going with the old school strats here. He's looking for that spreader to maybe set a tournament record here. Getting grenades, though, not really ideal, but it's better than an empty drop. Now more lobbers for CHX. Does get run over, so that'll delay him slightly. Now a spreader, but he can't use the mine because of that invulnerability, so he's going to have to go for the manual. Hope for another invulnerability to show up here. And he gets sabotaged.
On the feet.
Again, with the sabotages when we're threatening with Deller's 541, I swear the game knows. There's no doubt about it. Meanwhile, 40Watt has just popped. He's got a spreader to deal with right now. He's trying to catch up.
He's got a glitch toid.
Does get run over. If we see a spreader here, oh, but it's an invulnerability.
Oh, he's parked on it. Move.
It was back to back. It was back to back. Now it's a spreader, but he's going to have little chance to use that spreader. Final form for CHX. He's trying to get him down here and take the win. Well, there's a key. Somebody was asking for a key on CHX's side, Dan H. And it won't even be a sub-6. That's just Mutoid Man being Mutoid Man, gentlemen. And he gets run over. 40Watt is not quite dead yet, but a couple shots more on CHX, and it should be over. Lobbers now for 40Watt. Final form for him, but it is going to be too late. It will be CHX taking game number 1.
And of course, right as transitions to the final form there for 40Watt, gets the perfect spreader right there in front of the door.
Go figure.
Yeah.
619 for CHX, and he'll probably tell you that he's going to be not very pleased about that. 40Watt trying to make a comeback. Mutoid Man enabled him to gain some seconds, but 40Watt was just too far back going into the fight, and it will be CHX drawing first blood in this match.
Now, I know 40Watt was doing some practice earlier, and he wasn't feeling all that great. He had mentioned a bit of a thumb issue. He was, saying he didn't want to make excuses necessarily, but I think there's definitely, he's thrown off of his game a little bit, and I think now that he's gotten one of the races underway, I think a little bit of the jitters are kind of shaken here. Plus, I think just the overall pressure of taking on CHX again. I know he said he wanted to make this as competitive as the last two were last year, and maybe he's buckling a little bit under that pressure, at least in the first game. He just needs to settle down here and play like he knows he can, and we're going to get ourselves a heck of a series.
Yeah, no question about it, Burgundy. I mean, 40Watt had just had some awful RNG in that opening part of the match there, just not getting an orb until quite late. CHX getting just some amazing RNG, parlayed that into a 252 entry into the bonus room. RNG did dry up after that, but that lead was plenty big enough for him to hold on and take game number 1. But I'm telling you, if 40Watt would have gotten better RNG early on, it might have been 40Watt who could have taken game number 1. Nevertheless, we have both runners ready for game number 2. So, gentlemen, I'm going to turn them loose.
Turn them loose, shake them loose, however you want to do it. And we'll be ready with game number 2, and we'll see if CHX can keep it going or 40Watt can even it up.
Both runners in sync. We are underway for game number 2, 40WattRange versus CHX. Let's see if 40Watt can equalize or if CHX can take a healthy 2-0 lead as they both have their Razor Shield. All right, looking at what they've both got, CHX is going to have the whole shot here, and it's going to be another hot time going into collect power-ups. He's got himself another high 38. That's back-to-back. 40Watt, 42.5. He is already 3 3/4 seconds back.
Good luck. You'll need it.
Yeah, the items here, how they shake down in the
look at this.
More
Healthy drop for CHX rockets, then a razor shield. 40 Watt getting some decent drops as well. Has a razor shield, has a spreader, now has an invulnerability. He's fishing for that orb. As the rockets are now exhausted on CHX's side, going to use the razor shield to clean up the rest of the room. And look at this. He had a 76 in game number 1. He has a 77 in game number 2. Another spicy pace. And once again, gentlemen, 40 Watt's done nothing wrong. Just the quality of weapons have favored CHX. He's 10 seconds back. He's done nothing wrong.
Yeah, just working what he's been given, but yeah, unfortunately, just not nearly as good as how CHX has been operating with this. Does get the orb there, so
yes,
there you go.
Indeed, Taps. The first one to get an orb, 40 Watt, and if CHX doesn't see that orb, we could see that lead swing going into Total Carnage. A 2 flat for CHX. 40 Watt is going to be probably about 10 seconds back still. It's going to be 2:10, still 10 seconds. But an orb now for CHX.
Well, there you go. Kind of evens up right there. Going to be looking to try to maintain that center. Does get the rockets there, so really going to be doing some damage. Able to dodge the shrapnel there is on 40's side. It's really, I think the end of this room, like being able to do this room effectively and coming out with a weapon on the other side is going to be something that's going to be pretty big for both these runners and being able to really get a hold of Tank.
Tell you what, though, the weapons have favored 40 Watt here in Total Carnage. He's been getting razor shields, rockets, spreaders. He's been getting everything he's been given that can give him a chance to cut into this lead of CHX. CHX has gotten absolutely nothing to help him out. He's done a good job keeping the middle, and he will still have the lead, but barely with the 3 flat. 40 Watt about less than a second and a half behind. You know what it's time for. Oh, Taco Bell, product placement with Taco Bell. My word. Now, 40 Watt does have a little bit of clip remaining in his weapon. CHX has none.
Yeah, that spreader will help out. Will allow to kind of clear out some of these some of the lingering areas.
Oh, but he gets an upgrade. He goes to rockets right in the middle of the room. You'll love to see it. But not to be outdone, CHX with this spreader and a razor shield. Now he gains control of the middle. We could see some very hot times going into Mutoid Man.
Razor shield on 40's side, followed by the spreader. Those are drops you like to see. Another spreader here. Save some of those for Mutoid Man, will you?
But CHX dropped his orb, does get rockets, but I think we're going to see 40 Watt in the lead here. And indeed, it will be 40 Watt in the lead with a 4:08. CHX with a 4:10, 2 seconds, sub 6 is in play, tournament records in play for both.
Oh, yeah,
This is
absolutely.
what we wanted to see.
All right, let's see what happens here. We've got lobbers to start for both players. Equal opportunity drops. That's what you want to see. Ballbuster, no ballbuster for 40 Watt. Trying to do the manual spreader with a gunner still attached, often dangerous, and gets vibrated.
Yeah, trying to get that CHX, just getting lobbers, just dealing that consistent damage so far. Lobbers now on 40's side, both getting grenades. 40 actually will grab those grenades, interestingly.
Oh, but here's a spreader, but again, here's a player 2 spreader there. Jacobus on line 1. Another spreader for 40 Watt. Will he be able to get to it? He will.
Took that very early, very nicely done for 40 Watt. Like, really recognize that.
And another vulnerability! This could be, folks! This could be, folks! He's going to get a lot of damage here with this. It's final form. No, it is not final form. Not yet.
Oh, that transfer damage could have been huge if able to.
Oh, yeah.
Still need some more here.
You'll need some more here. Again, the record is 5:41. The spreader's not going to be enough, so tournament record is going to be out of play for 40 Watt, but he's looking good to even this up. More spreaders. Wanted to see that a little bit earlier there, but it is going to be another 5-4-X in the tournament, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
Just incredible time right there. I mean, yeah, not quite the record, but that spreader with the invulnerability right after made it look very possible. Just didn't quite get to that end. Maybe a quarter clip more, and that could have been enough.
Oh, yeah, barely, not enough. And when he did get more spreaders, too late. But nevertheless, 40 watt, 547, a hot time. We knew we were going to see some hot times, and 40 watt making a statement after taking that hard game number 1 loss. He is equalized, and we're going to go at least 5.
I mean, this is going 12 rounds. It's going 15 rounds. Whatever, however many championship rounds you want to have. This is going to go. I felt it initially. It's going to go 7. It's going to be back and forth. It's going to be like one of those, one of the super cheesy Rocky fights, just absolutely swinging at one another. That's how I see it. I think who knows is going to get this game 3, but I think the opposite player will get game 4. It's just going to go back and forth.
I did say 40 watt had to settle in, and I think a sub 550 is certainly a good way of settling in.
And our tournament administrator has just confirmed that, ladies and gentlemen, already is our 8th 5-4X of the tournament. I'm telling you, it's only a matter of time before somebody cracks the tape on 5-3X. It's got to happen in this tournament, I believe.
Oh, yeah, I don't think that's out there at all. I mean, when you got the PBs of everybody dropping, everybody's putting in a lot of work for the tournament right now, and you got 2 of the best runners there is in the business. It's not hard. It's not that out there to say that, one of these could take it right here in this matchup. It could come from anybody that's still around right now, I think, in the tournament. So this should be, oh man, game 3. I mean, I don't know. This could be a little bit of a pivotal game, but I feel like, yeah, like I was saying, it might just go to the other person in game 4 anyway. So
You very well may be right. Whoever wins game number 3 will definitely have an advantage, and he's going to put the pressure on whoever doesn't win game number 3. We are underway now, as both of them have their Razor Shields. So far, CHX has been in the lead both times coming out of Arena 1 with high 38s. Let's see if he can do it for a 3rd straight time, or 40 watt can find a way to get the hole shot going into. Well, grenades on the feet is not going to help 40 watt. Just getting sabotaged again. However, we're even.
Wow.
They both have a 39 going into collect power-ups, about a low mid 39. That's what you like to see from both.
You'll need it.
yeah, that's surprising after the grenade drop, but really moving around, getting the orb too is 40 watt right there. So nice, but rockets there on CHX side, so good weapon there to at least kind of maintain the pace here with 40 watt.
Yeah, good weapon quality for CHX. He can ride these rockets a long way, but rockets for 40 watt. Oh, he's going to have a hot time coming out of this room. Those rockets are going to last him the rest of the way. And get a load of this. He's got 115.
Wow.
That is a super jalapeno spicy hot time 40 watt has.
That is a Ghost Reaper pepper time right there. That thing is spicy, pretty nice, and clearing out very nicely at the beginning of the room. Grenades, unfortunately, there for CHX to start. Just going to be chaining grenades, just trying to get done with whatever he can get.
Yeah, he's fishing for that orb right now. He knows he cannot fall behind against a runner like 40 watt with the weapon quality. I mean, 40 watt has just been getting it all here, and once again, maybe knocking on the door of seeing something special here, depending on how he plays it, how the RNG treats him and everything. But CHX, 158 going into total carnage, and CHX with the 201, both great times, but that orb is just oh so important. The longer CHX goes without it, he's going to be double digits back, no matter how good he plays.
The
But it's 40 watt!
rockets.
That's a mistake.
Saw the rockets over there, the far right. That's a really tough grab right against the wall, right next to the door. You always have the chance of some foot soldiers coming out of there and ruining your day. Took that orb right as 40 was getting to those rockets, so kind of evened it right back up here.
Oh, absolutely here. But now a replacement orb for 40 watts, so he's not going to get burned too badly on dropping that orb there. And here's an orb for CHX. Equal opportunity drops. You'll love to see it.
And another gutsy grab by the door, this time for a spreader, but it doesn't burn 40 watt. And here we go. We're approaching 3 minutes. Should be near the end of the room here for both. Yep, here's
Ooh.
58 for 40.
Oh no, and CHX drops his orb. That is, you don't like to see that. He's about 5.5 seconds back with the 304 to 40 watts, 258. But it is time for, once again, gentlemen, some Taco Bell product placement.
Oh, Taco Bell, product placement with Taco Bell.
That's right, folks. Don't drop that chalupa because it's now time for tank trouble. No weapon for 40 watt to start. Gets a foot. Not great. CHX has a little bit of clip left. He's got 2/3 of a clip. It's a spreader. Should be able to take down one of the gunners. He does. And now just going to focus. Here's a spreader for 40 watt. Keep in the middle now. Both gunners gone. CHX fishing for weapons. There's a nuke. Should be able to take down the other gunner. He does. Now he's just looking for some quality weapons. Not getting it with that foot. 40 watt, not getting it with those grenades. But there's rockets for CHX. He needed to see that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, 40, yeah, doing well. Getting the spreader is pretty much, yeah, just a lot of spreaders riding through along with the orb there. It's already cleared out. Going to be getting out of there at 4:11, 4:12.
Yeah,
Yeah,
89 seconds. That's what he's looking for. 89 seconds. CHX not out of it by any stretch. He also could get a tournament record. Remember, he holds the record for fastest Mutoid man with a 69-second fight. So he's definitely not out of it by any stretch. He still could get a tournament record.
Ooh, a little tricky situation right there. 40 had grabbed the lobbers before actually taking out that swirl. He's able to take out the swirl right away.
Oh, what is the next weapon going to be? I don't see it. It's more lobbers. Well, didn't lose too much there.
Yeah, fortunate there for 40. He's going to get some extra ammo as well. He's keeping those lobbers going in. CHX as well. They're just going to do this consistent damage. Unfortunately, empty drop there for CHX is going to fall a little bit behind.
We'll get some lobbers, though. Grenades for 40 watt. We still haven't seen that spreader, though, that could turn the tide. It's been old school strats all day. Nothing wrong with that. Dealing that consistent damage. CHX landing shots in the bullseye. That's what you want to do for maximum output there. So both of them have the rib cage open. Right now, the next spreader we see could be the winning spreader. And there's one for 40 watt!
Position.
Oh boy, this should be a key for CHX. This should be final form. It is final form, transfer damage and all, but gets run over.
Oh, that, and yeah, CHX, it could get the potential transfer damage as well.
The key. Oh, this is not over just yet. There's a lobber. Final form for CHX, but this might be too late depending on the transfer damage that 40 watt got with that final spreader. Now switching to spreader, that was enough. And 40 watt makes it 2 in a row, and CHX not far back. It's going to be a 6:10 for 40 watt. For CHX, his time is a 6:15. It was a 5-second race between the two.
It was all about the transfer damage from that spreader. That was just in the perfect position. It allowed 2 forms and change to go, and that just gave 40 watt the victory, and definitely needed it with those couple of empty drops after the fact.
Yeah, absolutely. If he does not get that transfer damage, this one could have went to the booth. I mean, that's how close this was. I mean, that transfer damage just means absolutely everything. When you have that spreader, you get to that penultimate form, you get the spreader damage, you try to get as much as you can as he transitions into the final form, and that was key there for 40 watt. He doesn't get that transfer damage, it's either a photo finish or he loses. All right, looking at what's happening here, game number 4 coming up. I don't want to really say that this is a must-win for CHX. I mean, we know what he's capable of, gentlemen. But to me, this game number 4, just with what he's been dealing with, you know, the demons that he's had against 40WattRange in the past, you got to feel, to me, this is a must-win for CHX.
I would be in agreement there, just for the fact, if you do go down 3-1, now you're with the fact that you have to win 3 straight against 40 watt to make this comeback, and that's just a tall order. Just RNG shaking your way every single time like that. So yeah, CHX definitely got to be looking to even this up. This is going to be a pretty pivotal game, this game 4 right here.
Good luck.
All right, these guys are underway. Game number 4. Will CHX equalize the match, or is 40 Watt going to take a commanding 3-1 lead? Time will tell in the next 6 minutes or so. Here we go.
Yeah, both getting that razor shield. Gonna kind of run into that right side door to get that initial grouping of foot soldiers down, and then just going right to center. Just maybe kind of meandering into a little bit of one of the sides, but yeah, both cleaning
It's
up
going to
very
be
well.
ever so slightly a 40 Watt lead, and you're talking maybe a quarter second.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, pretty well done clearing out that first room. And let's see how these early drops shake down. This is going to be a nice little thing if someone can get an orb early and the other one can't. It's gonna give them a nice little lead.
Oh,
Here. There we go.
Feet.
That's huge there for CHX. He's got to maintain that orb. Now gets a razor shield, can keep control of the middle. 40 Watt fishing for an orb or better drops. He's seeing grenades and invulnerabilities and feet. Not the kind of weapons you want to see there. CHX gets a smart bomb. Not quite enough to finish the room, but it's still a hot time at a high 77, low 78. And 40 Watt takes a death.
Oh no.
So he is already double digits back and orbless to boot. He's 13 seconds back.
It's going to be tough. Not really going to be able to gain any time here. CHX with the orb, with some rockets as well. It's going to be able to get past even any of the foot soldier spawns pretty soon here.
And he dies again! He will not get to that orb! Oh my word!
no.
Some sloppy gameplay from 40 Watt.
You hate to see it. That's unfortunate. Yeah, 4 on the board there as far as the shot molds are concerned. Going to lose time there. It was going to be hard to gain any time on CHX, but definitely going to lose some time.
Oh, he's going to lose a lot of time. It's a 2 flat. CHX, a few wild shots, missing one of the green shirts. Not going to really hurt him that much. Now he's looking for some weapons, and that's an ultimate opening drop here in Total Carnage. And he is 18 seconds back, gentlemen, 40 Watt, and he still has no orb.
Oh my goodness.
Right now, CHX riding that razor shield, doing damage, keeping control of the middle, now using it as a weapon to take down the foot soldiers, trying to fish for better drops here. He's not seeing it. Grenades, razor shield for 40 Watt. Now he needs to find some weapons. He needs to find an orb to mitigate damage. That key is not going to help, but a key for CHX. So equal opportunity drops. It works both ways, gentlemen. And look at this. CHX with a 254 into the bonus room. That's hot.
That was that was nice. And that's one of those things I would say, you see that sometimes. I know some very aggressive movement there from CHX, actually kind of really running into the directions of where the spawns are coming. Really using that razor shield as an offensive weapon. You'll see that a lot in PB attempts, maybe not so much in races because you're really trying to maintain that orb, but CHX just let it go and get a real nice time for it.
And 40 Watt getting absolutely nothing. He may see that swirl of shame here. He's not going to see the swirl of shame, but he is 37 seconds back, and he's still orbless, might I add.
37.
Meanwhile, CHX with rockets to go with that razor shield. He is just shredding tank trouble here. We could see sub-4 into Mutoin, man, if these weapons keep up here. And this is probably going to be close to the end of the room here for CHX. Won't be a sub-4, but it's still going to be a blazing time. It's 4:03.
Wow. With CHX playing like this and getting the drops like that, tank trouble never stood a chance. Oh boy, that is an incredible time. This is going to be very interesting.
97 seconds, but that is not a good opening drop.
Not at all. Does get the grenades. They're going to be able to do something. Might lose this orb though.
He doesn't lose his orb. Doesn't take down. Now he takes down the second gunner. Now going to go for the lobbers. Going to look for the ball buster opportunity if he can find it. But no, he's picked off of the orb. Won't get it. Or did he get it?
It hit the arm. I didn't see it go anywhere. It might have gone off.
Neither. He might have gotten it. I can't tell. The only person I would know is CHX or Bryce Salt. I couldn't tell if he got it. He might have.
I'll check the replay.
And meanwhile, 48 seconds back is 40 Watt. He does have an orb.
Does have an orb. Is 2 forms and a little bit more back.
Yeah, the
right
weapon
now.
quality has been abysmal. Gee, I wonder why. The game knows. But CHX, though, still with the lead, still in control. 41 needs to see some spreaders, and he needs to see them fast.
Wow, is able to park right there. How? I don't know how 40 stayed alive right there at the very bottom of the screen. They'll take both gunners out. Does have the lobbers, so getting some decent damage in there finally. Head pop for CHX, so second to last here.
Yeah, it's looking really good for CHX to knot up this match at 2 games apiece. Even if he does get a spreader 40 Watt, I don't think it's going to be enough.
Oh yeah, it would have to be some empty drops as well on CHX's side.
Well, it is final form now for CHX, so no more spreaders he wants to see, which means he's probably going to see all the spreaders work. There's a spreader, he gets shot as 40 Watt, he can't even manual, and he gets punished to the maximum! This is going to be over, folks.
Well, of course, yeah, giving the key right after, just kind of a little salt in the wound sort of thing right there. It was going to be a real tough comeback regardless. Gets the spreader right there as 40 Watt, but CHX doesn't get some great drops right there. That was a really rough Mutoid fight. Still closes it out with a 6-13.
Yeah, that was not, unfortunately, RNG just not there for CHX to even get a sub-6. It ended up being a 2-minute and 10-second fight. But nevertheless, as 40WattRange just throws in the towel, just shake this one off and try better in game number 5. But CHX dominating that game. He needed a performance like this to get back into this match, and that's exactly what he did. So now, this is essentially a best of 3, gentlemen. You couldn't ask for anything better.
I'm still looking at the review. It looks like Mutoid Man hit the orb with his left fist, and I guess because it was swinging upward, it just knocked it right off screen. So I don't believe that the ballbuster damage had occurred. I'm gonna post the clip in Bry's Discord. Just let people be the deciders themselves.
Oh, absolutely, because I really couldn't tell. I saw that the orb had disappeared, but yeah, it might have just gone into the stratosphere for all we know. Both runners are ready for game number 5, this pivotal game number 5, because whoever wins this is going to have 2 shots to lock up the match. I'm going to get them ready.
Yeah, that's going to be a pretty big one. I mean, yeah, it gets you just that one more win. You don't have to go 2 in a row to make it to lock it down. It's hard to call which one's gonna get it though. I mean, yeah, it's been very back and forth. Some odd drops there, I would say, as far as orb drops that we saw. But I gotta feel that if 40's able to get an early orb drop here and CHX isn't, that's gonna be big. Again, I feel like whatever you have going into tank trouble is really gonna be big for these runners. So we'll see.
All right, so they both have their Razor Shield. CHX will wisely avoid that Smart Bomb, 40 Watt. Likewise for those grenades. Oh, but a Smart Bomb on the feet for 40 Watt there. And another one. Oh, that is, again, did nothing wrong there, but the game just absolutely punished him, as CHX will have a low 39, and 40 Watt is going to have a mid 41, about 2 1/3 seconds back.
All just from taking steps.
Yeah, he did nothing wrong there. It's just that the RNG just destroyed him. Speaking of destroying him, he does get rockets, this 40 Watt, and he gets the orb. CHX also getting orbs, so at least, again, we're talking equal opportunity drops.
Yeah, and doesn't use the doesn't grab the orb right away, so actually kind of extends out that rocket ammo a little bit. Is able to clear the lanes a little bit, and should be able to lock this down. Uses the Smart Bomb pretty nicely.
They both have sub 80. Another 115 for CHX, a 119 for 40WattRange. 2 very hot times. Both of them have the orb, so we could see some fireworks.
Yeah, Razor on 40's side, so that's going to be able to pretty much to just stand in the middle. And you can just fire down the shrapnel as they spawn in. You can fire a little bit at the foot soldiers, not even that necessary. Does get the spreader as well. Rockets, though, on CHX, yeah.
For both. So, again,
Ooh, there
equal
you go.
opportunity drops. They can finish off the room with both. CHX getting dangerously close. He thought that was the end of the room. He's got one more. No, that's it. 157! Holy smokes! 202. Those are both spicy times, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, we could see double, sub, 3 into the bonus room. We could see 2-4X if CHX gets drops.
40 getting a really rough grenade drop right there. Somehow doesn't lose that orb there. Keeps it in the center and does get the razor after the trouble there. So maintains that center. CHX out one.
This is about the kind of RNG you would expect with somebody with a 157 going into Total Carnage. He's getting no drops. 40 Watts getting all the drops. We could see a lead change here.
It was only about 5 seconds heading into Total Carnage. Would have been a little bit less than that, but 40 decided to grab that rocket spawn just before leaving the room.
And look at this. Even with no drops, a 250 for CHX. Any drops, it's 2-4X. That's one of the fastest times we've seen in tournament history. But 41, a 257. So as the prognosticator predicted, 2 subs 3s. It's time for Taco Bell.
Taco Bell, product placement
with Taco Bell.
Ugh.
Okay, so let's take a look here. No weapons for CHX, but 40 Watt does have some clip remaining here, and he is trailing. 1 gunner down for CHX. Their nuke should be able to take down the second, but not quite. There he goes. Rockets was what he had left, so that's good. 40 Watt's able to take down both the gunners, and CHX takes a death!
Hank coming in, just shooting right away, unfortunately catching CHX right there. We'll get the spreader, we'll be able to get back to the center, and we'll get the orb, so we should be able to maintain that.
Yeah, again. Oh, and 41 also taking a death here.
Oh, boy.
Oof, not good. This is not what you want to see here when 41 had a chance to, maybe equalize this game here. Here's Rockets for CHX, able to pick it up, and in spite of the death, CHX still 406 into Mutoid, man. 40 Watt, this has been a rough go. But you know what?
Change was 40 watts, but now it's mine.
But you know what? He's only 11 seconds back. It's definitely doable. We'll see what happens as he gets shot. No ball buster for CHX and a key.
Oh yeah, 11 seconds is nothing to Mutoid. He'll take that from you in a heartbeat. Right here, spreader though for 40 Watt, getting a little bit of manual, but those gunners just
the gunners are on their game. They are doing some nice shooting techs. And CHX does have the lead right now, but it's not a big lead. And CHX is getting run down by Mutoid. And no spreaders either, which again, with these entry times, typical.
About a 1-form lead for CHX right now. Gunner's still on 40 side, and actually I think gets the kill on 40 Watt right there. And then invulnerability, empty drop for 40, just having to stand there.
Yeah, the RNG has favored CHX here. He will not be able to get those grenades, however, and an empty drop could go a long way, but it is grenades, which is something. A spreader for 40 Watt. I don't know about this. That's a long ways to go. He got it.
Yep. Yeah, was able to take that death fairly early right there.
Problem is that Gunner is still pestering him, so he had to abandon the strats as the head pops off for CHX. So it's about a form lead right now for CHX. Sub 6 is going to be out of play as 40 Watt is shot again and has to take a continue. CHX has 2 lives left as he's now into the final form, but right now it's looking real good. 40 Watt needs a spreader now.
And there it is.
But it might be too late.
No, actually, right there.
No. In terms of the fight, it might be too late.
Too late, yeah.
It's too late in the fight because CHX has got it.
There you go.
CHX digging deep. Down 2-1 has taken back-to-back games from 40 Watt, and that was close. 6-18 for CHX. 40 Watt is going to be less than 10 seconds back with a 6:26. 8 seconds, but it is CHX, who has lost to 40WattRange in tournament play twice last year, is now just 1 win away from advancing to the winners finals, and he'll have 2 shots to do so.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one for 40 to overcome. I do feel, though, if I got to stick with my prediction of this going 7, I do feel 40 will take this game 6 to give us the ultimate game of a game 7 right here. Let's see. We haven't had your prediction yet, though, Cards. We haven't had a sub 6 that loses as of yet.
Yeah, I'm starting to think. That's why I said it was a bold prediction. You guys
might be here.
You
might
guys
be right here.
Absolutely. You guys told me that you didn't think it was that bold, but believe me, it's bold because of the one big reason. Mutoid Man RNG. We've seen runners a couple of times already go into Mutoid Man on sub 6 pace easily. And I mean easily. But the RNG has just been absolutely atrocious. We've played 5 games, and between the 10, only 1 sub 6.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been there. I have been in the driver's seat with a clear sub 6 in front of me, and Mutoid says no. So that could happen yet again. I think, though, right now, I mean, you could only do so much against the RNG, but I think both these runners are dialed in. This should be an awesome game 6 here.
So, yep, a big prediction coming up here. Are we going to go the distance, or will CHX close it out here in game number 6? Let's do this. We've got our Razor Shield. So now they're looking for the fastest way to get this room under control. A smart bomb. You don't want to see that as this drop. You want to see it as the next drop and try to time it so you can get the fastest possible kill. But it's going to be an invulnerability for both. So looking at what we've got here, it is going to be CHX with the whole shot by about a second. Not spectacular times, good times, a high 40 versus a high 41, about a second for CHX.
Good luck. You'll need it.
Opening drop is going to be very important for both. We've got invulnerability, a Razor Shield, advantage CHX by a little bit. Grenades now for both, so again, not really seeing too much in drops early on, but Vitamin R now for CHX as 40 Watt has back-to-back grenades as he's trying to fish for better weapons, does get so with the rockets. No orb for either player at the moment. Let's take a look here. The room is going to be over very soon, and indeed, CHX, an 80-second entry, 40 Watt, going to be a little bit behind with a 126, a little less than 6 seconds is the lead for CHX. But they're looking for the orb. But CHX takes a death. Was that the swirl?
Ooh, I didn't quite see what got caught by, but yeah, that will lose the opportunity for that orb drop. That's going to hurt.
Yeah, that's a big missed opportunity there for CHX because his opponent does not have an orb. Meanwhile, 40 Watt, not grenades, but rockets with the Razor Shield. So he's getting weapons to help him carry him through this room. But both of these runners getting worried because they do not have an orb at the moment. They may not have one. And 40 Watt gets the orb.
Yeah, 40 just farming those drops, going out of the way for dudes and everything. It works out very nicely.
204 versus a 208, so 40 Watt has cut the lead to 4 seconds, and he's going to continue to cut into that lead as long as CHX doesn't see an orb, and 40 Watt keeps his.
So looking back, CHX got swirled looking for that orb in Eat My Shrapnel. That's what caused the death. He saw the orb, went to go for it, and that's right when the swirl popped out of the door, and surprise took him for the death.
Yeah, that swirl was ready for CHX, no doubt about it. Meanwhile, 40 Watt keeping control of the middle, has the orb healthy. Rockets for CHX will help for a little while. A spreader for 40 Watt. Smart Bomb could give CHX a chance to reserve the clip a little bit. He is going to ignore it, trying to keep the kill count high with what the game has been giving him. More rockets, at least, to keep him afloat. 40 Watt range is going to be out first with a 304. CHX, though, has done a great job to stay within pace. 307, 3 seconds back. You know what it's time for, gentlemen.
Taco Bell. Product placement with Taco Bell.
I think you're right about that, Tabs. Don't drop the chalupa. Get yourself a churro. And let's go and find out what's going to happen as we go into tank trouble. CHX does have a little bit of, I believe that's rocket left in his clip. 40 Watt had no weapon. It was rockets, and both gunners are down. Both gunners down for 40 Watt.
Yeah, that interesting. Yeah, takes the opportunity with the nuke as well. Really just going to be able to hold the center very nicely with the Razor Shield, with the orb. CHX still searching, getting shoes, getting nothing. There's the orb.
There's an orb, but he's going to have to fight to keep it. Is able to maintain the center again. Now Rockets for 40 Watt could be able to finish off this room with them. Not quite, but nevertheless, the Rockets carried him a long way, and he's got a 4-12. He's looking at an 88-second fight to set a new tournament PB. Can we get an actual good Mutoid Man fight for once? CHX, about 14 seconds back with a 426. He's not out of it.
Not at all. Grenades there for 40 Watt, able to take out those gunners. Unfortunately, the clip right there.
Just enough of a clip to miss out on the ball buster opportunity there. Unfortunate. CHX might have a better shot at it, but now he's going to change his mind. Those spreaders tempted him enough to abandon the ball buster, trying to get the damage. There's a spreader. He dies seeing it. Will he be able to get to it? Yes.
Wow, yeah, great grab, great sight there from CHX. It was not too sure, but saw the light blue of it, and yeah, was able to.
Guess what? He's taking the lead.
Does
get another spreader with a little bit of invulnerability left. Another spreader. He dies. He will have a chance. Can he get there? Can he get there? Wow. Yes.
Yes, he can.
Another spreader for 40 Watt, but he's got a long ways. Another spreader for CHX. That one's going to disappear. No, it's not.
No, it doesn't. How? CHX has...
Final four for CHX. This could be it, folks. And he wins. It's CHX. The ultimate come from behind has taken the match. And for the first time has taken down his rival, 40 Watt, and is moving on to the winners finals against either Prince Leaf or Brysolf. CHX with a 546. And I'll tell you what, if he just would have had a better entry time into Mutoid Man, that's tournament record. I told you, anytime you're on a hot pace, you don't get those drops. When you're on a not so hot pace like CHX was, that's when you get the drops.
Yeah, no spreader. You couldn't avoid a spreader at the end right now. That was insane.
That was 9-5-4 X's in the tournament there as he gets his fastest time of the match, 5:46. So they both got a sub-6, just not in the right places. And it will be 40WattRange who will drop down to the second chance bracket quarterfinals against Mr. Dino. But it's CHX42 who punches a ticket to the winners finals. If he wins that match, he moves on to the Grand Championship. My goodness gracious.